Hey Commander players, it's EK, your EDH edutainer, and Innistrad Crimson Vow's Commander Precons have been teased. We're here to bring you a substantial upgrade guide to the Spirit Squadron deck. There were tons of awesome cards shown off, and we're going to take Millicent and these cards to the next level while keeping the spirit of the deck alive and well. We're not just going to upgrade this Precon, we're going to completely reinvent it. Millicent is 5, a white, and a blue for a 4/4 Spirit Soldier with flying. However, she'll cost 1 generic mana less to cast for each spirit you control, and yes, you can pay the commander tax that way too. But Millicent isn't just a cheap body, she also reads, whenever Millicent, Restless Revenant, or another non-token spirit we control dies or deals combat damage to a player, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. Millie is exactly what a Spirits deck has been looking for all this time. She's efficient, she can cheat her way through commander tax as the game drags on, and she gives the perfect payoff for what Spirits want to do. Haunt your opponents into the grave with an ever-increasing number of Geists and Ghosts. We're going to leverage Millie's strengths in 3 major ways. First, we're going to give Millie a ghostly gang of spirits to haunt the skies with. Second, we're going to use the evasive and tricksy nature of spirits to be aggressive and generate a ton of proactive value. And third, we're going to leverage our wide board in the mid to late game in order to draw a ton of cards with effects like Recon Mission and Kindred Discovery, which will rapidly draw through our deck to our repeatable extra turn spells such as Nexus of Fate and Beacon of Tomorrow. So let's break down our 3-step plan in fine detail. Step 1 of our plan is to play spirits, play more spirits, and then play cards that love spirits. Spirits excel at being extremely efficient and offer a strong utility and blanket synergies to our board. Mausoleum Wanderer is the spirit equivalent to Champion of the Parish, a human's deck's best 1-drop, except that its sack ability can give us a crucial counterspell when we need it on top of its crazy snowballing potential. Anafenza, Supreme Phantom, Drogskull Captain, and Patrician Geist are more efficient, proactive creatures that will provide our quick-growing board with buffs and anthem effects. We also get to use low-key sleepers to provide our board with crucial layers of bubble wrap as well. These go much further than Drogskull Captain's Hexproof Anthem. Unsettled Mariner is a blue and a white for a 2/2 shapeshifter changeling that says, whenever you or a permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter that spell or ability unless its controller pays 1. In that same vein, Kira Great Glass Spinner is a spirit with flying that gives our creatures, whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability for the first time each turn, counter that ability. This is amazing protection against single target removal, fight spells, tap down abilities, you name it. Saphara Skysblade is the perfect top end payoff to synergize with our spirits because A, we can cheat her out as early as turn 4, B, she's got great stats, and C, she gives our other flyers indestructible. It's the perfect combination to guarantee that we can keep a board and keep our foot on the gas pedal. We're also absolutely going to take advantage of brand new spirits from Crimson Vow to their fullest extent. Cemetery Illuminator, Catilda Dawnheart Martyr, and Mirrorhall Mimic are some fantastic additions from the standard legal Crimson Vow set. However, the Spirit Squadron Precon is the true treasure trove and the cards that are really helping to take the spirit aspect of this deck to the next level. Dinal Herald of Wings is 2 and 2 blue for a 3/3 human wizard. Whenever we cast a non-legendary creature with flying, we make a 1/1 copy of that creature that's a spirit. We can only do this once per turn, but we can do it on our opponent's turns with our flash creatures like Rattlechains, Spectral Adversary, and Spellqueller. Rattlechains, along with Breath of the Sleepless, another new card, are going to allow us to cast our spirits as though they had flash. We get the added bonus of tapping down creatures if we do this on our opponent's turn as well. Spectral Arcanist is going to let us cast an instant or sorcery spell with equal or lesser value based on how many spirits we've got on board, which will hopefully be a lot, and believe me when I tell you, we've got some awesome spells that we're going to be wanting to cast. Lastly is a spirit after my own heart, and that's Drogskull Reinforcements. This is a 2/2 Spirit Soldier that gives all of our spirits melee, and it prevents all non-combat damage done to spirits we control. This is Spirit's version of Adriana, Captain of the Guard, one of my all-time favorite commanders. Plus, notice how the protection is worded as well. It's protecting itself in addition to our board. This is in contrary to the likes of Tajik Legion's Edge, which kind of set the standard. So let's dig into step 2. Generate tons of proactive value using our spirits. Spirits are extremely efficient and are big on snowballing their board state and value. We're able to take advantage of a few tricksy synergies that are sure to put pressure on our opponents while springboarding us ahead. Cemetery Illuminator, whom we've gassed over earlier, is a new spirit in Crimson Vow, who, like Grand Arbiter 4, is going to make all of our spells that much more efficient to cast, along with giving us the ability to play spells off the top of our library. Millie's flood of 1/1s is also going to give us a steady stream of gas for Skull Clamp to give us bursts of card draw very quickly in order to set up our late game engines that much more efficiently. In fact, Millie herself is the perfect snowballing engine. We're suddenly fine with any or all of our spirits dying since we're leaving a board behind. We're wanting to go to combat and deal damage to play proactively and aggressively, so we get to play more spirits, draw more cards, and buff up other creatures like Catilda, who gets more powerful the more spirits we have. Millie's text box mitigates a fair bit of risk of playing aggressively, especially when we back it up with great flash creatures to proactively rebuild, counter magic, and spot removal. This latest trip to Innistrad offers Spirits decks a very interesting new mechanic called Disturb. Essentially, we can get 2 cards for the value of 1 by casting the backside of these cards from the graveyard. Catilda, Malevolent Hermit, and Mirror Hall Mimic are the 3 that we're running in this deck. The extra value from these cards is super welcome to our strategy because more options and more utility is always great, especially when you're trying to play aggressively. I know for a fact that y'all perked up when I mentioned the words draw more cards, because drawing cards is the central part of our deck's major win condition and the third part of our strategy. Bident of Thassa, Coastal Piracy, Recon Mission, and Kindred Discovery are extremely powerful, aggressive blue card draw engines. These all say whenever a creature we control deals combat damage to a player, we may draw a card. And most of our creatures have flying or some other form of evasion, so we're gonna be getting in there pretty often. We're gonna be drawing tons of cards. And that's where this may clause is hugely important, because otherwise we deck ourselves so early, so often, and to the extreme. Our deck's intention is to draw itself out until we've got the ability to loop Nexus of Fate and or Beacon of Tomorrow as many times as we need to eliminate the other players at the table. These extra turn spells shuffle themselves back into our deck. We can even use Spectral Arcanist to get our extra turn spells back and take another turn. Or in the case that Beacon gets milled or discarded, we can use Arcanist to cast it and shuffle it back into our deck. Because shuffling Beacon into our deck is part of the spell's resolution, it skirts past the exile clause of Arcanist entirely. Nexus of Fate even has the added bonus of not needing to be cast or resolved to be shuffled back into our deck. If we were to put it into our graveyard from anywhere, we shuffle it into our deck instead. As we take more turns and use those subsequent combat steps, we're going to be building a board progressively faster, a la Najeela, so the loop won't need to go on for very long, but we'll be able to get ourselves across the finish line in a pretty prompt fashion and keep the table's time equity in mind quite reasonably. The Spirit Squadron Precon is exactly what people like myself and spirits enthusiasts have been longing for quite a while. I love how much new flavor Crimson Vow has brought to this creature type. It's genuinely a ghost of its former self in the best of ways. Hey, thanks for watching my video. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, ding the bell icon, and help me fight the evil algorithm overlords and the control players by liking this video and leaving a comment. I'll catch you next time.